Hi, I'm Alex. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of the Data City. Global is the next step in the delivery of our mission as a business, which is to create the world's first industry engine. So that's a search and classification engine of or eventually all of the world's companies and industries, using a machine learning based methodology to provide a real-time view of that data. So the global product that we launched in December is a big step forward. So historically we've had UK data, which is where we started. Global product takes us forward into a total of 12 territories and over 100 million companies. And we are currently joining those companies to their websites to make them searchable and classifiable. And then we're also rolling out our proprietary industry classifications called Arctics across international territories, which involves quite a lot of work around selecting examples of sectors from different countries to expand the definition of the sector, but also dealing with things like multilingual aspects. Ultimately, the problem we solve, which is that the current industrial classification system stuck in a 20th century sort of methodology, doesn't update in real time, is a global problem. And what we want to do is allow investment decision makers across government and the private sector to make better investment decisions so that they can actively find, the sectors in the economy that are driving growth, that will solve the world's biggest problems like, food security, climate change, and so on. And to deliver a technology platform that allows them to do that at a point in time, any point in time, with real-time data. That's ultimately what we're here to do. It's a global problem, and our mission was to set out and solve that, not just for the UK, but globally. So ultimately, the industry engine, we want to be all of the world's companies, all of the world's industries in real time. And obviously, that's a path. It's a lot of data. Stepping from the UK to 12 territories is by no means the whole world, but it's a big step. So ultimately all industry classifications start with a definition of the sector and a taxonomy. So what we want to do is work with sectoral experts across territories, or experts that are expert in the differences between a sector like net zero in different territories ideally, who can help us identify the correct taxonomy and training sets for companies that represent the net zero sector in different territories. Like I say, probably very different in a country like the US to a European country, but probably even more so in a country like Saudi Arabia or Australia. So one of the key challenges we face is that the availability of company financials data varies enormously by country. So for the US, there is almost none. In the UK, there is good data, but not as good as some other countries. So what we've got to try and do is create a customer experience that makes sense when you're doing a global search, even though there are differences in company financials data available. The global product will focus more on the search and classification of website text than it will on sort of bespoke data points around turnovers and what have you, based on the availability of that data by country. But equally, we're on the first step of that, so over time we will constantly add data as we find it. So one of the first things we did was normalize all the different currencies into US dollars. So you've got a unified currency equivalent, so that you can compare turnovers or turnover estimates for companies across territories. So you're right, speed is a key part of the user experience. Luckily, that's not a challenge I personally have to wrestle with. And luckily, we have a super talented tech team, and what we're trying to do is make sure that is as close to instant as possible. And it's been a journey. When we first did machine learning training runs, it took weeks, then days, then hours, then minutes. Now they're down to 2 to 3 seconds. And so we want to keep that experience as fast as possible. It's one of the core product attributes and targets for the dev team. Exactly how they do that, magic. From a global launch perspective, what we've done in December is launch the global alpha product. And what we're doing now is looking for a cohort of alpha clients who are looking to use a product that isn't finished. I mean, none of our products are ever finished, right? We're always evolving them, but and give us real use case experience feedback so that we can prioritise the product roadmap for that product. So I think if anybody's watching this and thinks that they'd be interested in finding companies globally using that our industry engine, we'd love to hear from them. And we're offering very low cost access to a groundbreaking platform.